Hi everyone, we are back today with another video. We have an add maths question and we are doing the Selangor 2021 trial paper 1. Alright, so what I was thinking, like how are we gonna do this? So I'll split it up by parts, guys. Okay, so part 1 of this video will contain probably question number 1 till 3, part 2 will contain 4 till 6, and so on, right? As always, before I begin any question, you can pause the video, try out the question for yourself first. A quick message before we begin: if you found this video helpful, remember to subscribe, like, and comment down below. It will really help the channel grow. Okay, and yeah, let's get started, right? So we have given gx equals ax plus b over cx plus d. X does not equal into k, express k in terms of cd, hence find g inverse. So this is actually a two-part question, guys. So we are going to do this part first, k in terms of c and d, and we are going to do the inverse later. Now, what are the things that we have to keep a lookout on first before we begin? Have a look at this, guys. X does not equal into k, okay? When they say that, basically what they're saying is x can't be k. If x is k, which means the entire bottom fraction right here, cx plus d, alright, will equal into 0. And guys, what happens when, a fraction equals, like at the bottom of the fraction is a 0? Well, try it out for yourself, right? Go and put any number in the calculator, 1 over 0, 2 over 0, a million over 0, right? You're gonna get a math error, right? So how do we solve this? Okay, very simple. We're gonna take the cx plus d. Okay, we're gonna say that it cannot be 0, right? It cannot be 0. We are going to substitute the k into the x, all right? So ck plus d cannot be 0. We are going to try to make the k alone. So the first thing I would probably do here, I'll move the d to the other side. So ck equals negative d, k equals into negative d over c. Alright, and did we express k in terms of c and d? Yes, we did. K is on the left, I've got my equal sign, and I've got negative d over c. Alright, so what does this all mean? Basically, if I put negative d over c, well, right here inside the x, if I go and substitute that in, okay, what's going to happen is you're going to get 0 for the entire bottom section here. Alright, so it just can't be negative d over c, right? Anyways, that's the first part of the question done. We have already expressed k in terms of c and d. Let's move on to g inverse. Okay, so write down your equation first. So gx equals ax plus b over cx plus d. Okay, now there's many ways to do this. Probably what I'll do is I'll do this as x, and I'm gonna change all the x on the right side to y. Okay, so ay plus b over cy plus d. I'm gonna cross multiply it right now, guys. Okay, so right across, cross. Okay, so cy plus d, and I've got an x here, equals into ay plus b. Just multiply in, right, the x with both values over here. You're gonna get cxy plus dx equals into ay plus b. Now, what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to make my y alone. That's what I'm trying to do. So the first thing is I'm looking at my dx and I'm looking at my ay. I'm gonna switch them over. Okay, so it will become cxy minus ay equals into b minus dx. All right, Now, guys, can you guys see that there is two y's on the left and right? So what does that mean? Yes, we can factorize them. So it will become y bracket cx minus a equals b minus dx. Just move. I think I have an extra bracket over here. My bad. Alright, so just move. Oh, that wasn't a bracket, that was a C. Alright, yeah, my handwriting, guys, sometimes, gosh. Alright, so anyways, we are going to move the cx minus a to the other side. Okay, it will become a divide. So y equals b minus dx over cx minus a. And tada, you are done. All that's left for us to do is change g to the power of negative 1 x equals, write the same thing, guys, b minus dx over cx minus a. And that is your final answer, and you have got 3 marks already. Well done, guys. So on to the next part, okay? I think this question has like A, B, and C questions. We just did A, 1A. Now we're moving on to 1B. So we have our second question right now. Using the function obtained in our previous question, determine the inverse function for each of the following functions. Gx equals 7x minus 4 over 2x minus 3, and gx equals 2x minus 3 over x minus 5. Alright, so the first thing that I want to do is, guys, I'm gonna look back at my original question. This is from 1A, okay? And I'm going to write down our previous answer after we inversed it. It was g negative 1x equals into b minus dx over cx minus a. I'm just going to switch it up a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to write the negative dx to the front. Alright, because I know that when I want to substitute in numbers later on, I always kind of prefer my x at the front. Okay, so I just did a little switching over there. Now, yeah, so moving on. I want you guys to look at these alphabets, A, B, C, and D. Right? We are going to compare them to the ones given in the question. So 7x minus 4 over 2x minus 3. Every single alphabet are known, right? We're going to compare it to the number, okay? So A is going to be 7, B is going to be negative 4, C is going to be 2, and D is going to be negative 3. Now, if I were to inverse this, okay, if I were to inverse this right now, okay, I'll write it here. It will be g negative 1x. All we are doing, guys, is we are substituting the A, B, C, D into this, okay? So, equals negative D. So, negative 3 x plus b, so plus negative 4 over c is 2x minus 7. I'm gonna get 3x minus 4 over 2x minus 7. Okay, and that is my final answer. We have already inversed it. We can do the same thing, guys, to the second question. Alright, we can do the same thing to the second question. So, we have, just draw a line here, okay? So, we have gx equals 2x minus 3 over x minus 5. Alright, so, again, just have a look at the numbers, guys, right? So we have A as 2, our B is negative 3, C, okay, it is there, guys, but it's invisible, right? There's an invisible 1 all the time. So C is going to be 1, and D is going to be negative 5. So I've got a question for you guys. What am I supposed to do? Right, we are supposed to substitute back in to the inverse function, right? So let's do that. It's going to be g negative 1x equals into negative d. So negative, what's d? D is negative 5. X plus b. What is b? It is negative 3 over c. C is just 1, alright? So that's just going to be 1x minus a. So minus 2 equals 5x minus 3 over x minus 2. Okay? And we've got our answers. We have already inversed them, right? The only thing probably I want to change is I didn't write what x can't be. So x over here can't be 7 over 2. And on the right side, x can't be 2. Now, if you guys are wondering, right, like, how is it that, I got x can't be 7 over 2 or x can't be 2? Well, it's really simple, guys. All you need to do to get that right section over there, okay, just do this, right? 2x minus 7 equals into 0. 2x equals into 7, positive 7. X equals into 7 over 2. So that's how I got x can't be 7 over 2. And I do the same thing to the right equation as well. So x minus 2, just always make it into 0, guys. So x minus 2 equals 0. Move the negative 2 to the other side. You will get positive 2. So x equals 2. And that's how I got x can't be 2. Alright, so guys, yeah, we've got our answers. You got your 2 marks. And let's go to question C. So we are at our last part for question number 1. So if C does not equal into 0, what is the condition on A and D so that G equals into the G inverse, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write down my previous gx, which was gx equals ax plus b over cx plus d. And I'm also going to write down my inverse function, which was b, you know what, I'm just going to write negative dx first. So negative dx plus b over cx minus a. Right, so if we read the question again, c does not equal into 0, which means to say that c has a value to it. Okay, c is a number, we don't know that number, right? So c has a value to it. Now, if we were to compare both equations, okay, because c has a value to it, so we were to compare both equations, we can see that the cx and the positive b on both sides are the same. It does not change whatsoever. So how do we make sure that g equals into g negative 1? Well, we can just compare the other value, which is a will become negative d, and the other one, d, right, will become negative a. That is the only differences, right? So how do we write our answer down since this is a 1 mark question? Okay, it will become a equals into negative d, or you can also write d equals into negative a. Alright, any one of those is fine because it just means the same thing anyways, right? So yeah, that's your final answer for question 1C. So let's move on, guys, to question number 2. So we are on question 2 right now. It says, find the range of the values of x for the following inequalities. They gave you 2. Hence, solve the inequalities 5 less than 2x squared plus x plus 4 less than 10. It is a 4 mark question, right? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to solve the inequalities separately. So 5 less than 2x squared plus x plus 4. I'm going to swap it around. Okay, I'm going to swap it around. And when you swap it around, make sure you change your symbol as well. It will become more than 5. Move 5 to the other side, it will become negative 5, which means you will get it as a negative 1 over here, more than 0. At this point, you should take out your calculator, right? Get your values of A, which is 2, B is 1, C is negative 1. Put it in your calculator, try to solve for the values of x. You will get two different values from your calculator, which are, okay, x equals into negative 1, or it can also be x equals into 1 over 2. At this point, I left a little space at the top because I wanted you guys to put your brackets, which you guys should do, right? It will be 2x minus 1 and x plus 1, right? So just like we discussed on the previous video, we can easily do this by just moving negative 1 to the other side. So x plus 1 equals 0. And we can do the same here by doing a cross multiply. 2 times x is 2x equals 1. Move the 1 to the other side, it will become 2x minus 1 equals into 0. And all you have to do is just take those values, put it back up onto your brackets, right? Okay. Now, what happens next? I need to get my range, right? So, draw a line. Check your quadratic equation, check the A value. Is it positive or is it negative? Right? It's a positive 2. So positive 2 just means that you should have a smiley face graph. Okay, so I have my smiley face graph. It says more than 0. So I should shade this region over here and this region over here. Negative 1 goes here, 1 over 2 goes here. Okay? And I'm just supposed to write my range actually. So how do I write my range? It will be x less than negative 1 and x more than 1 over 2. And that's done. Well, just for the first equation. We kind of have to do it for the second one as well. So, next one. 2x squared plus x plus 4 less than 10. We are going to move the 10 to the left side. So 2x squared plus x, 4 minus 10 is negative 6, less than 0. Same thing guys, we are going to leave a small little space, take out your calculators. A should be 2, B is 1, C is negative 6. Try to solve the values from your calculator. You are going to get x equals into negative 2 and x equals into 3 over 2. Yes, that's right guys. Okay. Same thing. We are going to write the brackets again. So what's the first one? X plus 2. Next one, you try. Alright. So it's supposed to be 2x minus 3 less than 0. Okay. So what's missing? I haven't drawn my graph yet. Okay. So let's draw a graph or sketch a graph. Alright, so I've got my smiley face done up. It is less than 0, which means I need to shade the inner part over here. So negative 2 goes here, 3 over 2 goes here. So how do I write my range for my final graph? It's going to be negative 2 less than x less than 3 over 2, right? Okay, so what do we do then? How do we solve our inequality? We are going to take a long line. We're going to draw a long line. Okay, all the values of x, we've got 4 in total. We are going to put them on our number line right now. So negative 1 goes here, negative 2 over here, 1 over 2 comes after, and finally 3 over 2, maybe somewhere around here. Okay, so first of all, x is less than 1. So remember guys, an empty circle is for either less than or more than. A full filled up circle is for less than equal to or more than equal to. So since my first answer was x less than -1, I'm just going to draw a circle, right? An empty circle. So circle. Less than means you're going to the left. Okay, that's done. Now, I need to do the same for the -2 as well, right? So how do I do that? Well, it's really simple, but you need to do an additional step, okay? Which is, well, what is our answer for the range just now? -2 less than x. So technically, that means -2 less than x, right? Your x must always be on the left side, guys. So it will be, just swap it around. So x greater than -2. Now, just to be fast on this, I'm just going to do the same thing to the other side, right? So x less than 3/2. Do I need to do anything here? No, I don't, because x is already on the left side. Okay, time to solve the question. So x is greater than -2. All right, so empty circle, greater than means you're going to the right side. Okay, so I'm just going to draw it like this. And what's next? Let's go to the next one. X is greater than x is greater than 1/2. So empty circle again, go to the right. Okay, so because it's greater than we go to the right, less than we go to the left. Okay, so x is greater than, so go to the right, and x is less than 3/2. So empty circle, go to the left, right, 3/2. Now, if you look over here, both of them have overlapping parts right here. Okay? All we need to do now is just write our range down for both of them. So, the first one on the left, it's going to be -2. Can you guys see the two empty circles, right? So, it's going to be less than x less than -1, just like that. And how about the right side? Well, first thing first, it's going to be 1/2, okay, less than x less than 3/2. And that's how you do it. You have already solved the inequality. You have both ranges over there, right? And you got your 4 marks, right? So let's move on to question number 3. We are on the third question right now. Okay, so if cert 7x equals cert 2x plus cert 3, find the value of x in the form of cert p plus cert 6/q. Okay, let's think about what we're gonna do here. I think the first thing that I want to do is I want to move the axes together. Yeah, I want to move the axes together. I want to put them together. Alright, so I'm going to move cert 2x to the left side. So it will become cert 7x minus cert 2x equals into cert 3. Okay, now that it's together, okay, what's in common that you guys can see? It's going to be the x, right? So that's in common, so I can factorize. So x cert 7 minus cert 2 equals into cert 3. I'm going to push, right, the cert 7 minus cert 2 to the right side, so that instantly becomes a divide. Why? Well, it's because of the brackets, guys, which you guys should know by now. X bracket means times, so x times whatever that's on the inside. So times move to the other side becomes a divide. So x equals cert 3 over cert 7 minus cert 2. If we got up to here, right, we can't stop yet. We have to rationalize the denominator. How do we do that? Okay, So we are just gonna times cert7 plus, it's always the opposite of the one on the left. Okay, so initially I got cert7 minus cert2 minus, right? So the one on the right will always be the opposite of that, so plus. Okay, so cert7 plus cert2 over cert7 plus cert2. I think a really good tip here to solve this really quickly, because you don't want to waste time, is to always remember this, which is let me see if I can remember it. So it's a plus b bracket a minus b equals into a square minus b square. Yes, this is the one, right? So this is to solve the bottom part of the fraction way faster. Okay, so let's go. Cert3 must times both cert7 and also cert2, guys. So when you multiply them, you're gonna get cert21 plus cert6 over, right? So here's where we can use the shortcut right now. Okay, so cert7 and cert7 will just become, well, cert49. Cert49 is just basically 7. Okay, or if you want to use the shortcut, so it will become a square, right? A square, so it's just 7 square. Okay, 7 square, but the square will cancel out with the cert. Okay, so cert and square cancel each other out, so what are you going to be left with? Just a 7, right? And I can do the same thing with the 2 as well. So cert2 will become b square, right? So square and cert will cancel each other out. You're just going to get minus 2. So minus 2. I'm sure you guys can solve this. It will become cert21 plus cert6 over 7 minus 2 is 5. Right? And we have already found our answer, and that is how you get your full 3 marks. We are on our last final question for question 3b. Alright, so it says here, find the value of p which satisfies the following equation: 4 over log p pq plus 4 over log q pq plus 2 equals 6p. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do here, and what I noticed is that we have two different logs at the bottom, right? I think to make it easier for ourselves, it's best if we change it to become the same. So I'm just going to change the one on the left. So 4 over, alright, so how do you change it? Okay, it will become log q pq over, because it becomes a fraction, right? So over log q and p. Okay, goes that. Now, on the right side, I'm just going to maintain it as it is because it's already in the log q, right? So I don't really want to do anything with it right now, okay? And what happens right now is I need to deal with the fraction down here. And as you know, if we have a fraction over here, the bottom one, the bottom fraction always goes back to the top as a multiplication, right? So I'm just bringing this right up to the top. So it will become 4 log q p over log q p q plus 4 over, actually, you know what? I kind of want to rewrite this because the bottoms are the same, right? I've got log q pq on the left and log q pq on the right. So I'm just going to rewrite this a little bit, guys. Right? So I'm just going to move this somewhere here and just make a long line like this and a plus, right? Equals into 6p, and the positive 2, I'm moving it to the right side. So it will become negative 2. Now, I need to decide what I'm going to do right now with the top fraction. So I can see that there is something in common on the left and right side, which is the number 4. We can factorize it out. So 4 over log QP plus 1 over log QPQ equals into 6P minus 2. Now, what can I do right now? I think what we can do here is, I think I want to separate out the bottom fraction a little bit. Yeah. So I'm going to separate the logs out. So log QP plus 1 over, now have a look guys, it is log QPQ, right? They are together, so you can separate them out, so it will become log QP. Since it's a multiplication, it will become a plus, so log QP plus log QQ equals into 6P minus 2, right? And guys, we can just instantly cut this and cut all of it at the bottom. Yes. Now, how did that happen, right? Because you might be wondering, it's not the same. At the top, we have a plus 1, and at the bottom, we've got log QQ. That's not plus 1. Well, it is, guys. It's the rules of log, basically, right? When it's log QQ, when it's the same alphabet, right? Or number, okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, same alphabet, same number. You can cut it and it will actually become 1. So log QQ is actually 1. So yes, they are the same. And if they are the same, I'm just gonna cancel them out, right? Just like what I did. So what am I left with? I'm left with 4 equals 6P minus 2. Just move the 2 to the other side. It will become 6 equals 6P. Last but not least, your P will be 1. And that is how you do it, guys. You have your full 3 marks. Right, so that's the end for the video for today. Okay, I will be uploading part 2 in 2 days time, right? Or maybe if I have some free time tomorrow, I might upload part 2, right? So it will contain question 4 until question 6 from this same set as well, which is the Selangor trial paper 2021 set number 1 paper 1, right? So guys, see you on the next video. Bye for now, everyone.